Can you write down something Danielle is easy, please? Please? Hey guys, Kieran here. I'm back for another episode of Let's Play Desperate Housewives, the game. We're here at our house and we've got two quests to do. Danielle is what? An inbox invasion. We've basically got to solve some problems our son might be involved in. I don't know. So I think we might do electronic enigma first. You may not know how to prove your son didn't write these emails, but you do know who to ask. Frank Fox would be the best person to figure out where those emails really came from. Give Frank a call to see if he knows of a way to get your son out of this jam. Pump up the jam, pump it up. Right. We can go to the Fox place now again. Come on.
Can I help you?
Can I help you? I just wanted to see how you were doing. Yes, Frank, I really need your help with a computer issue. My son's in trouble and he needs your help. I just wanted to see how you were doing.
Uh-huh, sure. What do you really want?
Oh, Kyrano's being accused of sending some rude emails to Allison. How can I prove that he didn't send them? Is there any way to find out where the emails are coming from? I need proof that he didn't do it. Yeah, is there any way?
Well, if you have access to Allison's account and could send me the emails, I could trace its original IP address back for you.
Whoa!
Or if you had access to your son's account, you could check his bandwidth for local activity.
Trace? IP address? Bandwidth? You speaking English? I don't know how to get access to either of the accounts. What else can I do? Let's just say I had trouble doing all that. Is there something else I can do? I don't know how.
Are you sure your son didn't do it?
Oh, I hope not.
Well, if he's innocent, then someone would have to have had access to his account. No one around here has the technical expertise to hack into his account. So whoever sent the emails must know your son's password. Talk to him and find out if he's given his password to any friends.
I really appreciate your help, Frank. If there's ever anything I can do for you, just ask. Thanks, Frank. Wouldn't you have the technical expertise required to hack into his account?
It would be a cakewalk for me, but I didn't do it, and you know that.
You're right. I'm sorry, Frank. I'm at my wit's end here. I'm not thinking straight. How can I be sure? Sounds like the words of a guilty man. Yeah, I don't think he did it, to be honest. I really appreciate your help, Frank. But if there's ever anything I can do, just ask. Thanks, Frank. Okay. Password protection. Frank has convinced you no one in Wisteria Lane other than himself and your son would have enough computer smarts to know how to hack into an email account. This means that your son is innocent. That if your son is innocent, he must have given someone his password. Okay, to his account. Right, go talk to him and find out. God, we have to walk really slowly. Wow. It's hilarious how everyone drives crisis on this street. Oop. Right. Okay. Opens the door. Oh, he just so happens to be in the kitchen. Does he ever go to school? And does Manny even have a job any? Does Manny not go to work anymore? I don't know. They always seem to be home now. Talk.
Mom, I told you, I'm innocent.
I talked to Frank about those emails Alison has been getting. Someone has to know your password to do that kind of thing. Did you give anyone your password?
Well, Tabitha made me tell her my password while we were, dating.
But why would Mrs. Savage be sending emails to Alison?
You think she did this?
Makes sense, to be honest. I think so, but the real question is why? Well, who else could have done it? I wouldn't put anything past that conniving little bench.
Yeah, she's a little scary, isn't she?
Thanks, Hon. I'll keep you posted on what I find out. Well, thanks for the information, honey. I still have more to figure out. I'll try to put the pathetic little bit of information you gave me to use. Well, thanks. Bye. Okay. Now that you have... Okay, so that's that completed. Right, now that you had the flyer... Since you have the... Yeah. We'll have to go and see Danielle. Yeah, right. Let's go see Danielle first. We'll work out this stuff. Whee! Teleportation. Knock knock. Knock knock.
What are you doing here? What do you want?
How are you holding up with this whole flyer issue? I just wanted to see how you were doing. I heard about the flyers. I'm really sorry. How
How do you think I'm doing? How would you be doing if there were flyers all over town saying you were easy?
do you have any thoughts on who would send out these flyers? Actually, I had a few questions about those flyers, Danielle. Well, first, we have to figure out who would want to spread rumors about you. Do you have any idea?
Yeah, I have a strong suspicion. It was Julie Mayer.
That doesn't sound like Julie, I know. I can't imagine why she would want to act like that, can you? Why would she try to destroy you like this? What does she have against you?
Like I know what's going on in that little nerdy brain of hers. She's probably still pissed that your son stood her up for me.
You don't think my son did this? You really think Julie did this? Wait, your mother is blaming my son, why aren't you? Wait, you really think Julie did this?
Yeah? I heard that she was calling all the guys at school and telling them I slept with your son. So it's definitely her.
Okay.
Who else could it be? It certainly wasn't your son. Not that I wouldn't have minded, but he never got anywhere with me. My mom made sure of that. I'm still pretty pissed off at your son, though.
Come on, Danielle. What would have happened between you two if your mum didn't stop you? We would all know the truth. Why are you still upset with my son? That's all I need. Why are you still upset with my son?
He should be defending me. He hasn't said or done anything to tell people it wasn't me.
Heaven forbid he actually tried to defend himself from your own mother, I might add. Well, maybe he's a little too busy trying to defend his own reputation from half the neighbourhood. Well, maybe if the rumour wasn't so close to the truth, you'd have some ammunition to defend yourself. Middle.
All I'm saying is that if he'd defend me, then everyone would know he was innocent.
You know, okay. Perhaps if there weren't so many truths to the lie, you wouldn't need to defend you. You know what, Danielle? You are a selfish, naive little brat. Wow. You know what? This is getting me nowhere. Goodbye. Okay. 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 Now that you have the flyer, it's time to do a little detective work. Take a look closer at the flyer to see if you have any clues from it. Look. Okay. After looking closely at the flyer, it appears the text was written with feminine handwriting. To prove your suspicions, get a writing sample from your son. This should help you prove your son is not responsible for the flyers. And then Danielle believes Julie is the person behind the flyers. This handwriting reply does indeed look like a girl's handwriting. So maybe you can get a writing sample from her and compare the two. Since you don't want to accuse Julie outright, you have to talk to her and come up with a way to get her to write Danielle is easy. Okay. What's this? I don't know. Don't know what the new hint was. Right, we'll go. Wait, we'll go. Let's get a sample from the sun first. From Manuel, Kyrano. Kyrano. Talk to. Hello, son. It's me again.
Mom, I told you, I'm innocent.
I was able to get a closer look at one of the flyers.
And now you believe I didn't write it?
Yes, I'm convinced now. I never believed you were guilty, honey. Well, it's clearly a girl's handwriting, and unless you're churning feminine on me, you're incorrect. You're innocent, not incorrect. Wow. The handwriting on the flyer is much too neat to be your chicken scratchings. You must have inherited that from your father. You know, doctors. The note looks like it was written by a girl. Your handwriting looks nothing like this.
Well, who do you think wrote it then?
I don't know, but we have to prove your innocence to everyone else, so I'm going to need something from you.
Sure, Mom. Anything.
I need a sample of your handwriting with the same message.
You want me to write Danielle is easy? Is this a trick?
Don't be stupid. I'm trying to prove you're innocent. That's right. After all my hard work trying to clear your name, I'm going to manipulate you so I can make everyone think you're guilty. It's no trick. This way I can show you how you didn't write those hideous things about Danielle.
All right. If you think it's best, here you go.
Thanks. Alright, now we'll get Julie's samples somehow. Bing bong. Open the door, come on. Happiness needs low. Okay, maybe first we stand by the television. Well, the stereo. Does the stereo up your happiness? I think so. Turn it on to jazz, please. Okay. We'll need to sort out our appearance later, but whatever. To the mayor house, which is literally next door, but I'm still gonna teleport. Can you write down something? Danielle is easy, please. Please.
Oh, it's you. What do you want?
I'll be straight with you, Julie. I know for a fact my son didn't put up the flyers about Danielle. I also know the handwriting on it is a girl's. You might want to lose the attitude, Julie. I'm your elder and deserve some respect. Julie, what's wrong? What of all this sudden hostility? What are you so angry about?
As if you didn't know. It's all your son's fault.
Granted, my son may not be an angel, but why take it out on me? I don't understand. What did Kyrano do to you? I can't handle any more of this teen melodrama. Everything is so intense when you're in high school. Oh my god, it is, isn't it? What did Kyrano do?
Well, because your son was putting those flyers around, Danielle is convinced I did it. And now she hates me.
Okay.
So now she's spreading that around school. Everyone thinks I'm some kind of psychotic skank. The worst thing is that even though I didn't do it, I've been ripping down the flyers whenever I see them. I still feel bad for Danielle, even if she's gone all psycho on me.
Funny you should say that, since my son says the same thing. So you know how exactly my son feels then? What a coincidence, that's almost word for word what my son said.
Wait, he didn't do it?
Did you look at the flyer? It looks like a girl's handwriting, doesn't it? Of course not. I raised him better than that. My son definitely would never do that. I'm just not sure who did.
What? Are you accusing me now?
Yes, actually. Actually, I don't really know. I mean, I certainly had a motive. You certainly had a motive. The thought crossed my mind.
Well, for your information, I'm innocent. And if you think I would actually be capable of something like that, then I'm done talking with you.
Okay. Would you mind just putting that in writing? Just write, I do not think Daniel is easy, and sign it. I'm sorry, Julie. I didn't mean to offend. There was actually something else I wanted to talk to you about. If you're so convinced of your innocence, just write Daniel was easy on a piece of paper so I can compare the flyer. That one?
That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I'm not going to do that.
Oh. Okay then. There's something else I wanted to talk to you about. I'm not trying to help you, I'm just trying to help you out. Prove your innocence by writing Danielle is easy so I can compare it to the flyer.
Listen, Miss Detective Housewife, I'm not in the mood for your little games. Are you done yet?
That's Sherlock housewife to you. Okay then. There's something else I wanted to talk to you about.
Oh, really? Is there another subject you'd like to harass me about?
Actually, I'm collecting statements from everyone about Daniel Fox. I want to put together a book of how the residents of Wisteria Lane were affected by Daniel's life. Each person will write something in their own handwriting, so the book will have a really personal touch.
I really didn't know Mr. Fox all that well. I wouldn't know what to write.
Don't worry, sweetie, I'll dictate. You just write it down with your cute little circles over the eyes and the little hearts for periods. Full stops to British people. That's okay, I can't help but figure you out what to write. It's just important that everyone on Wisteria Lane has a page. The message itself doesn't mean so much. The act of writing something down is what's really important.
That doesn't make sense. Shouldn't this be like a personal message or something?
Of course, it still can be personal. I'll help you think of something if you're stumped. Of course, but sometimes it's hard to put your feelings into words. I can help you with that. I think the fact you're willing to write any message, it's a personal enough gesture. Yeah, I can help you out with that.
Sounds a little weird to me, but okay. What should I write?
I'd start with something like Daniel led a fashion show that brought the neighborhood together. Then say something like, the neighborhood is a darker place without him. And then you can conclude with something like, it will not be easy to go around Daniel Fox.
Wow, I didn't realize you cared about Daniel so much. It's so sweet of you to do this in his memory.
She hasn't noticed either.
Here's my message to add to your book.
Yeah! We got a handwriting sample. Oh, my god. Right, dog's best friend. On the other side of the flyer is a notice about a missing dog. It appears that whoever posted these used an existing flyer. Talk to a dog owner in the neighborhood to see what he has to say about this. Ah, we're gonna go see Mike, eh? We're literally across the street from Mike's place, so that's good. I'm gonna quickly save. But just an emergency mid-game save, just in case. Like the last episode, my graphics card freaked out, and I basically had to re-record most of the conversation with Mrs. Davenport. So, pardon me. Hope you remember to edit that out.
Hey, can I help you with something?
Can I help you with something? Did you know how these lost dog posters were vandalized? Yes, Mike, I just found out these dog posters were being misused and I wanted to know what you thought. I was hoping you might know who put up the vandalized posters around the neighborhood. These middle one?
I'd definitely like to find out who did this to the posters. It's criminal. Honestly, I don't really care about whatever's going on with the Vandy camps. But for someone to do this kind of vicious thing and destroy flyers put up by some poor soul looking for their lost dog, it just makes me mad. It makes me lose faith in people.
Well, I can tell you one thing. They're not only cruel, but they're cheap bar stewards. I mean, blank paper isn't exactly expensive. Yeah, it's really is tragic. Do you have any idea who would do this? Or, well, as much as I'd like to say I can't avoid it, there's a rumour around that my son put up the flyers. Yeah, it's really tragic.
Sure, I have my suspicions, but I can't really imagine that they'd do this.
Come on, Mike, tell me who you think it is.
Well, I hate to say it, but do you think it could be Mrs. Davenport? I've overheard her making some obnoxious comments about Danielle's social life.
Oh.
And now that I think about it, vandalizing missing animal flyers sounds right up her alley.
Huh? What do you mean?
The woman's nuts. Every time I walk past her house, she gives Bongo the evil eye.
Oh, Bongo.
And not just Bongo. Cats, dogs, rabbits, even squirrels. She freaks out at the sight of them. If anything seems like a threat to her precious garden, she takes it personally. Come to think of it, I haven't seen too many of those animals around recently.
What do you mean? They're probably just hiding from her. Huh? Yeah, what do you mean?
Probably nothing. You know what they say about animals and their instincts. They're probably smart enough to stay away from her. I mean, come on. She's just a cranky old lady. She wouldn't hurt a fly.
She could always nag them to death. Sure, I guess. I mean, chipmunks are kind of smart. Chipmunk mode. No, shut up. I don't blame those owners. One look at her evil eye, and they'll be hiding too. She could nag them to death. Thank you. You've been very helpful, Mike. I need all the ammunition I can get to vindicate my son. Have a good day.
See ya.
Bye. Okay, Pet Cemetery. First the rat poison, then the dog tag found in her garden. Add to that Mike's information on how Mrs. Davenport reacts to pets. And you got one suspicious gardener. Go talk to Mrs. Davenport about all this to see if she has any answers. Right. Okay. Right then. We'll probably have to end during this conversation. So, what do we hear? Okay, give me a second. Ooh, don't want to do Sav here. Right, resume. Okay. Dun 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 dun.
What now?
What now? Mike said he saw you tearing down some posters earlier, the same ones that have Daniel is easy written on the back. A lot of strange things have been happening lately relating to you. I have a few questions only you can answer. I think you're hiding something. Few questions.
What are you talking about?
Mike Delfino said you seem to get crazy whenever animals are anywhere near your garden. First, there's that room of poison in your house. I found this dog tag in your garden earlier today.
What are you doing digging around in my garden? Have you no shame?
It was like on the top of the ground. Oh my god. Mike made me think about the way you seem to react to any animals that come within 10 feet of your precious garden. I'm putting together pieces of this puzzle, like that little room of death you have upstairs in your house.
I spend a lot of time tending to my garden. Is there anything wrong about taking the proper precautions to protect it?
Must be useful to have a whole room of poison in your house.
I don't like your tone. Just what are you getting at?
I don't know. Your dog got killed by large rats, and you buried him in your front yard, and then honoured him with a beautiful garden. You kill animals using rat poison and then bury them under your garden? It's just a series of ridiculous coincidences that you don't mean anything whatsoever. Yeah. Maybe... Ooh. That one? Now you're paranoid about rats and have to stockpile poison and see any attack your garden as an attack on your dog. Oh, maybe.
Well, that's an interesting theory, but entirely ridiculous.
It's all just a series of ridiculous coincidences. You kill animals using rat poison, then bury them under your garden.
Well, I could protest, but why bother? You got me.
Oh.
Those pesky animals make a wonderful fertilizer, by the way.
Oh my god. I knew you were mean and petty, but I had no idea you were evil. Evil. How could you? That's beyond awful. So you admit it now. We admit it. Wow. That's just a wild guess. Yeah, didn't know you were evil.
So, what now? You found out my big, dark secret. What are you going to do about it?
Tell me why you did it, and then I'll figure out what I'm going to do with you. I'm going to turn you into the police. You have to pay for your crimes. The real question is, what are you going to do to stop from me reporting this?
You want some hush money? I'm having enough trouble paying my mortgage. Rod didn't leave me with much after all.
Oh no.
So I suppose my fate is entirely in your hands.
Tell me why you did it, then I'll figure out what I'm going to do with you. I'm going to turn you into the police. You have to pay for your crimes. Yeah, tell me what you did it. Why you did it.
It was all my husband's fault.
Save it. You've been a widow for years. What do you mean? How did your husband force you to slaughter animals?
Well, he didn't literally force me to do it, but it's complicated, so let me explain.
Right.
Rod was the love of my life. Unfortunately, I wasn't the love of his. He had this dog, Sparky, and he spent all of his time with him.
It's wonderful that he had a pet that he cared so much about. What do you have against dogs?
To be honest, it was embarrassing how he fawned over that mutt.
Oh.
Well, since Rod never gave me any attention, I had no choice but to take up a hobby. So I took up gardening. Ugh, but that little bastard Sparky. He would always dig up whatever I had just planted. Strawberries, carrots, lilies, it didn't matter.
Why didn't Rod keep him on a leash? Well, dogs are dogs. Tell me, Mrs. Davenport, how does your husband having a dog he loved turn into a vicious killer? Turn you into a vicious killer?
Well, instead of punishing his little mutt for his little forays into my garden, Rod would encourage it. So one day, I decided to teach that mutt a lesson. I put a little rat poison near the rose garden. I didn't think it'd be enough to kill him. I was just trying to get him sick, so he wouldn't go near it anymore.
And then what happened? I'm sensing it did more than make him sick. How did your late husband take this? And then what happened?
Of course, Rod didn't know I had accidentally killed Sparky. I wasn't sure what to do with the body, so I buried it in my garden. Once Rod noticed Sparky was gone, I planted the seed, so to speak, that the dog had run off. Rod was depressed for weeks. I think he thought I might have done something because he was very standoffish. Shortly after that, Rod left me for that other woman. From that point on, my garden is all I have left. Only the next time an animal tried to ruin my garden, I was ready.
It never occurred to me that you were psychotic and you just kept killing any animal that came near your front yard. Why didn't you stop? And middle.
Look, I know I wasn't being rational, but my garden was all I had left. And it was so easy to get rid of them. Another lost pet. Big deal. No one takes any notice. Then I decided to move on to preemptive strikes.
Preemptive strikes?
If an animal looked at my garden funny, he was a goner. And they made such great fertilizer, too. Oh, my garden has never looked better.
You poor pathetic woman. Do you know how many hearts you've broken by depriving people of their pets? There's more to life than just gardening, Mrs. Davenport. Mrs. Davenport, you have to stop. I won't let you continue to do this.
I don't know. I think I'm too old to change.
It's in your best interest to try it. It's only a matter of time before the ASPCA catches you. That's BS. You're never too old to change. You just have to want to. You're probably right. You're far too old and set in your ways to change. Yeah, that's BS.
Thank you. Now that the cat's out of the bag, maybe I can stop.
Maybe you could.
If you could find it in your heart to keep the secret between the two of us, I would be forever in your debt.
If you throw away all your poison, I might. Of course, your secret's safe with me. Well, alright, but if I even hear about one more missing dog, I'm straight to the police. Yes.
Oh, thank you.
Bye. Well, that was interesting. And this is probably the perfect place to call this episode. So join me next time when we start going postal. That's a fun name for a mission. Yeah. So, I'm going to call this episode here. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, all that usual YouTube shiz is appreciated. Thanks for watching, and toodle pipski.